Hello everyone and welcome to July. So we're starting off with Cancer because it's Cancer season. And just going to do the usual. I may do 9 cards or Celtic Cross. I am not sure yet, but we'll just go with the flow. I'm feeling the 9 cards would be easier. And we have our Oracle cards up here. And first off, we're going to see what energy we have for the reading. I'm using the Queen of the Moon Oracle by Stacey DeMarco. Felt like I was drawn to it because Cancer season does that. So I'm in the kitchen and I have a headset on, so you can hear me better and less echoey, hopefully. It gets warm in my room. I'm in the loft. So I moved down here while we do the recordings. Gratitude is our energy for the reading. Last quarter moon, so it's gratitude. So you're just being grateful. Cancer, you're just being grateful for all the things that have happened lately. And now we're going to see, I'm going to use the Universal Tarot, and the Radiant Wise Spirit is going to be used as well. But we shall see what is I'm drawn to the Universal right now. So we're going to see what the energy is with that and what is the situation. Your amazing tripod is a stack of DVDs, so don't think it's all professional. It's just a stack of DVDs that we don't use. Let's see now. Plus I have more room down here. It's the counter in the kitchen. Page of Wands. So good news is coming. You're grateful that all the things have happened. And with this Page of Wands, it shows that we know good things are coming. So that's the theme for the energy. That's the energy for the Cancer reading. I'm going to do 9 cards because I think that would be just fair for everyone and it'd just be easier to read with. I'll figure out a stand for the other cards. It's just using that for now. So we're going to go with 9 cards. Let me see. Yeah, we have enough space. I was just seeing on the camera. Can you actually see my hand? So I've been doing the tests and everything, so let's see. So what is happening for Cancer in July? The birth month. What's happening? So we're going to do past, present, future. And yeah. See what happens. So what's in store for Cancer? Wow, they wanted to say a lot there. Calm down, one at a time. That's 1. Queen of Pentacles. This is the past line. Ace of Pentacles. I'm not doing reverse this time. I just want to read it straightforward. Still learning. Wheel of Fortune. So that's the past. And you're off screen. There we go. So it's here. Okay. I'll remember that. Just get them out of the way. I'm using Shadows and Light. Oracle Shadows and Light. That would be for your emotional support during this reading. And then I will do the energy readings for each of those stages with the Queen of the Moon. Normally do it with Work Your Light by Rebecca Campbell, but it just needed a break, I feel. This one left out. So with the past, I'm just gonna, as they pop out, I'll put them out. So in the past, we were at the height of our career or our abundance field. You felt very accomplished, and we were getting, it was coming in, the money was coming in, and all that abundance. So even if you didn't have a job, it could be like anything to do with work or making you feel like you've accomplished things. So that was constantly coming in. But then the Wheel of Fortune changed, and I want to see what that was about. So let's see what that was. 8 of Pentacles, you're back. The change was we had to go back and work really hard again. So you may think, oh, I'm grand, but you need to try and become the king, if that makes sense. And it is very sad that we had to go back a phase. This is what happened to myself, so this does make sense. So we had to go back a step. We had to go back and revisit our skills, because clearly, presently, the present line has the magician here, so that does flow very nicely, that the magician is there to show that you have the skills, because you worked really hard. But I want to see what else comes up. Queen of Swords. So after gaining our skills and taking this time to reflect and to regain our strength and confidence, you kind of do this blockade. Two nearly jumped out there. Do this kind of blockade effect. And we have the devil card there. This kind of blockade for your personal self. Like, I'm not going to let anyone take advantage of me again. Because the Queen of Pentacles is very earthly and motherly. And she can be easily taken advantage of, give or take, the person who comes into her life. So that she was knocked back down. If this is the Queen, she was knocked back down to the Eight of Pentacles. And she had to revisit her skills and traits and beliefs. And then she changes into the Queen of Swords. So that does presently, we are the Queen of Swords with the Magician. But then we have this Devil card. So something or someone is manipulating us in a way that makes it looks like this Queen of Swords is beckoning. You could see, like, she's like, come here, devil, I want to talk to you. It's like you're in control of something. And I want to see what that was. We had the Ace of Cups. So this devil, this could be like a mental health kind of status, I feel. The devil is like something that's controlling you. And it seems to be controlling your emotions, the way you think things, the way you feel things. It's very sad, to be honest. It's a very sad situation, but it all comes to a head for a reason. Do you know? And it will all make sense in the end. So I'm going to turn you there. So now you can see this bottom row of it. Yeah, it's just very sad. That's the reason what we're going through. This seems like a very elaborate version of the Nine of Swords, but I feel like it's a bit more in-depth and dark about it. So we'll see what happens when we do the Shadow and Light Oracle. We have the Ace of Wands for the future. So this is what's coming up in July. And it's just seeing where you've been and where you're going, the Hermit. So this is where you were last month. This is where you are presently in the first week of July. And this is what's coming up for the rest of July at least. And I may do a mid-July one. And then, oh my god, Queens! Look at that Queens there, like the big crisscross there of Queens. So we start off with this Ace of Wands. You're getting out there, you're doing things. You needed some time to control your emotions from your mind, your mental health kind of thing, It makes sense. The Queen of Swords is very closed off, but she's her own worst enemy, if that makes sense. With her own thoughts, if she's left alone, your mind wanders and stuff. So it's very upsetting in that sense. But don't forget, we have the energy was gratitude and Page of Wands. So don't forget, like, that is the overall energy. So you're grateful that these things are happening to you because it's meant to happen. You're meant to learn this lesson. You're meant to learn from these hiccups. You're not meant to be this Queen of Pentacles for long. You're meant to be this Queen of Wands, apparently. So you get out there, you do things. You have the action to do to do things. Yeah, to go out there and do things. Let's see what that's about. Knight of Wands, look at that. The Knight of Wands, top of the Ace of Wands. You're getting out there, you're doing action, you're taking things by the bull of the horn of the bull, taking the bull by the horns. That's the word. But you're also learning that this time of month will be very tough for you, because I know, now I'm not very familiar with the astrology side of things, like with the houses and stuff. Still learning it, and I'm still wrapping my head around it. There is a girl I will link below. Her name is Sarah. I think her Sarah Vibra. I can't remember how do you say her name, but she goes really in depth to the reading of of what is in our house and what is in our way and what eclipse is in our way. So there's an eclipse that's coming, or is happening right now. And we know that we need to be alone and away from people for it, because we need some solitude. And when you come back, you become this Queen of Wands. And that isn't just insane. You went from a Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Swords, Queen of Wands. And I love how each queen was in different stages. So at the start, the current, and the end. Do you know? It's lovely. That Queen of Wands ends up with the Hanged Man there. So she finally sees this perspective that the Queen of Pentacles couldn't see. She sees that, okay, you go out there and do things, and she takes action. She doesn't want to sit there. It's like she sends out this knight to do her bidding. But we see that we see that she does get that kind of, she's not as strong as the Queen of Swords and closed off. She's not as soft and earthy as the Queen of Pentacles. She's just in the middle. She's the Goldilocks. She's learned how to balance the two. Hence the Hanged Man. Like, he's also learning to balance on that branch there. He's learning how to balance. He's learning how to cope and go with that. Like, go with finding that perspective that makes sense to you. So now we're going to go on to the emotional support, I'd call it. And we've done all the tarot bits. Now we're going on to Oracle. I am using the Shadow and Light Oracle. I'm going to see one for each card, really. I'm not going to do the past because that's already been done and dealt with. You know how you felt then. So we're going to do present and future. Merry Masquerade. Glamour, intrigue, and drama. So that kind of makes sense with that Magician. Like, there is a lot of drama going along with, you don't have the skills, you have the skills, you don't have the skills. And you are, like, if you look at this card, you can see that she's all dolled up, she's all pretty and ready for the ball, but then she gets uninvited. Like, it's something like that. You're like, hang on, I went out and looked and got everything to look the part. Why am I not enough? So that's showing that is there, that kind of, like, you're intrigued to, like, why? Why is my skills not enough? Why am I not enough for this job? Lady with a Bosch egg. Ancient wisdom. That Queen of Swords does always have very intense advice, but she does have really good advice. So that shows that you've been here before. You've been this Queen of Swords before who's been defensive and throwing things into the wind. With the Devil and the Ace of Cups, we have the Carnivorous Flower Fairy. A tempting offer has a high price. Given that that's mad, I'm sorry. Just given that the Devil is there and the high price of, an offer is that you have to suffer for something. So maybe, like, you got something that you didn't wish for. You wanted that job, but then in fairness, you weren't emotionally ready or mentally ready for it, and then you started manifesting that you wanted to get out of the job. And you do, and that was the price. You lost the job. And the price is that you're unemployed again. Now we're going on to the Ace of Wands and the Knight of Wands here. Death and the Maiden. Invasion, boundaries, violation, and dominance. That kind of makes sense. Like, you're dominating the situation here. You're kind of getting in there and being intrusive and invading other people's space to go, give me a job, come on. Pestering them. And emotionally, you are a bit determined, I'd say. And I like how it's a death kind of situation, so this is meant to happen. Like, the Death card is like, it's meant to happen, it's meant to unfold that way. And then with the Hermit, we have Noculus Princess, powerful personal growth. That is like a perfect emotional status to have with the Hermit here, because you go off on your own, you learn to get some powerful growth on yourself, and it does make perfect sense. To be honest, that's your emotional status on that. You're like, I need this time to grow. I need this time to figure out what I want. What I want in life, and what do Cancerians want. And then for the Queen of Wands and I nearly said Swords, I don't know why. She's up there. She's on the brain. Queen of Wands and the Hangman, we have the Pink Lotus Fairy, a time for spirit. So this is a time for recharge, time for, reflection, and a time to learn that new perspective with that Hanged Man. And now we're going to see your energy for each of these. So what will be empowering you, kind of thing. What's going to be pushing you with these emotionals, like, I do love doing the emotional support, because then it just sees how you're going to be feeling during that change or that time of the month. Okay, so for, what was this again? Oh, the Magician. I thought it was Hangman. The Magician and Mary Masquerade, we have balance. So you need to find this balance. And given that the Magician is like the most balanced card of the majors, it makes sense. Like you need to find the balance of getting away from the drama and working on yourself and learning how to find the in-between for not to satisfy others, but kind of like to be that ideal candidate for stuff, but also make yourself feel happy about it, For the Queen of Swords and the Ancient Wisdom here, we have self-reflection. You're learning, you're self-reflecting. Like, why am I this way? Why am I this Queen of Swords? Like, why is this a thing? Why is this happening to me? And you start seeing who is in the wrong. Is it you, or was it someone else? And then you start seeing, why am I here, and what's the next step for me? As I said that, my God, the next card. With the Devil and the Ace of Cups, we had the Carnivorous Fairy, Flower Fairy. A tempting offer is a high price, and we have the Path. So this is a path that the universe has put you on. They've put you on this to leave or take this offer. And that manifestation was the offer, if that makes sense. So if you manifested that you were to fall back, like this happened, you manifested this. Like, I don't like this job. I hate it. And if you keep saying that, the universe will hear you. And then, so this is the path you're meant to be on. Like, this is part of it wasn't just a straight line. There's a fork in the road. You took the side road. And you're on that little side road for now. There's nothing wrong with it. So don't worry, Cancer. You're fine. With this Death and Maiden, we had the Ace of Wands and the Knight of Wands. So you're getting out there, you're doing it. You're getting out there, doing the things that you want to do, and you're throwing yourself into it. You have the confidence to do it. You put the armor on. You're ready to shield yourself. And we had release. So with these dominance and boundaries, you're taking them down. You're kind of slowly melting away that Queen of Swords. And you now release. So that energy is now released into the world. You're now releasing that you're being dominant in the sense of being determined. But it could come across as a bit too domineering, if that makes sense. Then with the Hermit and the Nautical Princess, we had the personal growth. Let's see. I'm going to shuffle them again. Oh, that jumped. Get out. And we had creation. Beaver moon. I should say what moons they are. I'll go back and say that in a minute. But with the Nautical Princess and the Hermit, we had personal growth, and this is creation. So you're creating something for yourself here. You're creating a great balance. You're creating something that is for you and no one else. Like it's personal growth. Like no one else can tell you what to do for personal growth. And last but not least, for the Queen of Wands and the Hanged Man and the Pink Lotus Fairy, for a time for spirit, we have attraction. So this is the time where you are going to be so magnetic to others. With that time where you are, you've gained that status of the Queen of Wands. You found the suit that suits you, if that makes sense. For now, kind of thing, for this path that you're on. And the Hanged Man has helped you see the perspective that you didn't see before. And then with the Lotus Fairy, you're taking this time for meditation during the month of July. You're taking this time to rest, rejuvenate, and then you become something that's magnetic for others. So for maybe for other signs that are meant, like who you are, who is your like other half or your twin flame, that kind of thing, they could be more attracted to you after you've become this Queen of Wands, because you know who you are and you know who you want and what you want. So Cancer, that is your reading, and you become so grateful that that hiccup in June or whatever it was has happened, because the Page of Wands has brought you good news. So I'll leave that there, guys. That is July for Cancer, and I'll leave that there, and I'll see you all next time.